Whether you're sipping your morning coffee or catching up on the drive home, we've got some industry insights that'll change how you think about your next car purchase. I'm Steve.
And I'm Claire. We're part of the Auto Agentic team, and this is Auto Intelligence. New episodes every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Thanks to everyone who's been tuning in. Our audience keeps growing, and honestly, your engagement and feedback make these conversations so much richer. Today, we're diving deep into something that's not just changing cars. It's rewriting the entire playbook for how vehicles are built, sold, and owned.
Picture this. You wake up in Toronto, step into your 2-year-old electric SUV, and your dashboard lights up with a notification. New features available. Would you like to activate adaptive highway assist and enhanced cabin climate? With one tap, you unlock capabilities that literally didn't exist when you bought the car.
That's not science fiction anymore, Claire. It's becoming the new normal thanks to software-defined vehicles, or SDVs. We're talking about cars that are essentially computers on wheels, platforms that can evolve and improve throughout their entire life cycle.
And Steve, what really caught my attention in the research is this quote from Dr. Rudi Ostermann, CTO at TE Connectivity. We are at a turning point. The car is no longer just a machine, it's a digital platform that can evolve and improve throughout its life. That's fundamentally different from how we've thought about cars for over a century.
Absolutely. So let's break this down for our listeners. Claire, when we talk about software-defined vehicles, what exactly are we talking about? Because I think there's some confusion in the market about what this really means.
Great question. So traditionally, cars were built around hardware, engines, transmissions, and literally dozens of independent electronic control units, or ECUs, all connected by kilometers of copper wiring. If you wanted new features, you bought a new car or paid for an expensive retrofit.
Right, and that's where the SDV changes everything. Instead of all those separate ECUs, you've got a few powerful centralized computers managing most vehicle functions: acceleration, braking, navigation, entertainment, safety systems. And here's the kicker: these vehicles are built to be updated, upgraded, and customized remotely, over the air, just like your smartphone.
Tesla really pioneered this approach, but now we're seeing a massive industry shift. According to a 2024 McKinsey report, more than 80% of new vehicles sold in North America and Europe will have significant software-updatable features by 2027. That's almost everything on the road in just a few years.
And the architecture behind this is fascinating. Instead of that spaghetti mess of wiring we mentioned, SDVs use centralized or zonal architecture. You've got these powerful processors, sometimes called vehicle computers, connected by high-speed networks like Automotive Ethernet that can handle massive data flows for advanced driver assistance systems, infotainment, connectivity.
The benefits are pretty compelling when you think about it. You get flexibility, features added via software without changing hardware, efficiency, fewer wires and ECUs mean lighter, more energy-efficient vehicles, and security. Centralized systems are actually easier to monitor and protect against cyber threats.
But here's where it gets really interesting from a business perspective, and this is something our dealership listeners need to pay attention to. The SDV isn't just a technological leap, it's completely upending the traditional automotive business model.
Exactly. For decades, car companies made most of their money at the point of sale. Once a car left the lot, the relationship with the customer was largely transactional. Maybe some service visits, maybe a recall. That was it.
SDVs flip that model completely. Now, the sale is just the beginning of a much longer, potentially more lucrative relationship. We're seeing the rise of subscription-based features. BMW has experimented with monthly subscriptions for heated seats, adaptive cruise control, even high beam assist. Mercedes-Benz offers acceleration increase for their EQ electric vehicles, a software unlock that boosts 0 to 60 times for a monthly fee.
I know some people bristle at paying for features their car already has the hardware for, but the data suggests younger buyers are more open to this model. A 2023 Deloitte survey found that 53% of car buyers under 35 are open to paying for software-enabled features post-purchase, especially if they can try before they buy.
And then there's the data monetization aspect. SDVs generate enormous amounts of data: driving habits, vehicle health, location information. With proper privacy safeguards, this data can improve products, offer predictive maintenance, create new revenue streams. Boston Consulting Group projects the global market for automotive data-driven services could reach $450 billion by 2030.
That's a staggering number. And it's not just about new revenue streams, it's changing residual values too. Because SDVs can be updated and improved over time, they hold their value better. A 2024 Kelley Blue Book analysis found that late model Teslas retain an average of 10 to 15% more value after 3 years than comparable non-SDV vehicles.
Now let's talk about what this means for dealerships, because this is where the rubber really meets the road, so to speak. No group feels the SDV shift more acutely than auto dealerships.
For generations, dealers have relied on service and parts for much of their profit. Oil changes, brake jobs, engine repairs. But as cars become more digital and electric, many of these traditional revenue streams are, well, they're disappearing.
So what's the new role? Think less mechanic, more digital concierge. The dealership of the future might be more like an Apple Store Genius Bar. Service technicians need to be as comfortable with code as with carburetors, diagnosing software glitches, installing updates, helping customers personalize their vehicles.
There's this great analysis from Ward's Auto that really captures the challenge. With the advent of over-the-air software updates managed by OEMs, the roles of managing and servicing vehicles become increasingly ambiguous. Nevertheless, both entities face a shared challenge of navigating the product transition while striving to create a seamless and hassle-free servicing experience for vehicle owners.
And dealerships are becoming sales channels for software features and subscriptions. Instead of upselling rust-proofing or extended warranties, sales staff might walk customers through the latest software bundles, app integrations, digital services. Some dealers are experimenting with feature fairs, where customers can test drive new capabilities before subscribing.
But there's also the threat of disintermediation. Tesla, Rivian, Lucid, they're already selling cars online with minimal dealer involvement. Traditional dealers have to find new ways to add value through personalized service, community engagement, exclusive in-person experiences.
You're listening to Auto Intelligence, brought to you by Auto Agentic,
the platform transforming automotive retail with intelligent, human-centered AI. We're helping dealerships navigate exactly these kinds of industry shifts, not by replacing the human element, but by empowering teams with the tools they need to thrive in this new landscape.
Now back to our deep dive into software-defined vehicles.
Let's shift perspective and talk about what this means for actual drivers, because the consumer experience is really where all this technology has to prove its worth.
For drivers, SDVs promise a new kind of ownership, more flexible, personalized, and potentially more affordable. Take maintenance, for example. Electric SDVs have fewer moving parts than internal combustion vehicles. No oil changes, fewer brake replacements, no exhaust systems to rust out.
A 2024 report found that annual maintenance costs for electric SDVs are about 30% lower than traditional vehicles. But here's the catch. Repairs involving sensors, cameras, or software can be more complex and expensive, often requiring specialized technicians or remote support. ADAS repairs after a collision can be 2 to 3 times higher.
But the flexibility is compelling. With SDVs, drivers can pick and choose features as their needs change. Going on a ski trip, subscribe to heated seats for a month, need advanced navigation for a cross-country drive? Activate it just for the journey.
Though there's a risk of subscription stacking, paying for so many add-ons that monthly costs creep higher than expected. ID TechX projects that by 2034, the average new car buyer in North America will spend about $70 per month on software features, up from $15 in 2023.
That's a significant shift in how we think about car ownership costs. But here's what's really interesting. SDVs are a natural fit for shared mobility and fleets. Features can be activated or deactivated based on user profiles, trip types, business needs.
Exactly. A ride-hailing fleet could enable premium audio and extra safety features for business travelers, then revert to basic configuration for economy rides. According to Geotab, SDV-enabled fleets can reduce downtime by up to 25% and maintenance cost by 15%.
Now, we can't talk about this transformation without addressing some of the broader ecosystem challenges. Insurance, for instance, is having to completely rethink risk assessment.
As cars become more autonomous and software-driven, the nature of risk changes. Insurers must assess not just driver behavior, but software reliability, cybersecurity features, frequency of OTA updates. Some insurers are already offering discounts for vehicles with advanced safety systems or real-time telematics.
And then there's regulation. SDVs raise new regulatory questions that, frankly, regulators are still figuring out. How should software recalls be handled? Who's responsible if a software update causes an accident? How can regulators ensure OTA updates don't compromise safety or privacy?
In the US, NHTSA has begun developing guidelines for software recalls and OTA updates. In Europe, the UNICE's WP29 regulations require that all new vehicles sold after July 2024 support secure, auditable software updates.
But perhaps the biggest challenge is cybersecurity and data privacy. With great connectivity comes great responsibility. SDVs are attractive targets for hackers, and a successful attack could have dire consequences.
Automakers are investing heavily in cybersecurity, secure boot, encrypted communications, intrusion detection systems, but consumers are rightfully concerned. A 2024 Pew Research survey found that 68% of drivers are very concerned about how their vehicle data is used and shared.
Let's talk about the consumer experience promise, because this is where the rubber meets the road for adoption. The most exciting promise of the SDV is the idea of a car that gets better over time.
Right, personalization and integration. SDVs can remember individual driver profiles, seat position, climate settings, favorite playlists, and adjust automatically. They can integrate with smart home systems, so your house lights up as you pull into the driveway, your garage door opens as you approach.
And there's this continuous improvement aspect that creates deeper relationships between automaker and driver. Manufacturers can roll out new features, safety enhancements, even performance boosts long after the initial sale. A 2025 McKinsey survey found that 72% of new car buyers under 40 expect to be able to upgrade their vehicle's features after purchase.
64% are willing to pay for software-based enhancements. As cars become more like smartphones, consumers expect regular updates, seamless integration, user experiences that feel modern and intuitive.
But let's be honest about the challenges ahead. The SDV revolution isn't without hurdles. Automakers face a steep learning curve transitioning from hardware-centric to software-driven development. The industry is grappling with a global shortage of software engineers, cybersecurity experts, data scientists.
Legacy automakers must overhaul decades-old architectures, retrain workforces, build new partnerships with tech companies. Startups have a head start because they're not burdened by legacy systems, but they must scale quickly to compete with established giants.
Standardization is another challenge. Without common platforms and protocols, we risk fragmentation and incompatibility. Industry groups like AutoSAR and the Connected Vehicle Systems Alliance are working on open standards, but progress is slow.
And there's an equity question too. As vehicles become more dependent on software and connectivity, there's a risk that lower income drivers, rural communities, and older vehicles could be left behind.
I want to circle back to something Dr. Ostermann said that really captures the magnitude of this shift. The software-defined vehicle is also enabling a different way how a car is put together with its own architecture. You see this modularization also inside of the car production. It is because you can reduce the production cost of a car significantly.
That's huge. He's talking about challenges coming to market with lower cost vehicles because of this architecture, while traditional manufacturers face the challenge of overcoming cost gaps while transitioning to similar approaches.
Boston Consulting Group put it perfectly. The magnitude of change that the software-defined vehicle represents cannot be overstated. They can benefit individuals and society at large and will alter the auto industry.
So where does this leave us? What's your biggest takeaway from all this research, Steve?
Honestly, Claire, what strikes me most is that we're not just talking about better cars. We're talking about a complete reimagining of the relationship between manufacturers, dealers, and consumers. The SDV is more than just a new type of car. It's a new paradigm for mobility.
For me, it's the speed of change. 80% of new vehicles having significant software-updatable features by 2027. That's not some distant future. That's 3 years away. The industry transformation is happening now, and the companies that master software, data, and customer experience will be the winners.
And for our dealer listeners, this isn't just about adapting. It's about finding entirely new ways to add value in a digital world. Those who embrace this change, who invest in training and technology, who reimagine their role as digital concierges rather than just service providers, they're the ones who'll thrive.
The road ahead is literally paved with code, and for those willing to embrace the future, the possibilities really are as limitless as the open highway. But it requires a fundamental shift in thinking, from selling products to building relationships, from one-time transactions to ongoing partnerships.
Well, that's our deep dive into the software-defined vehicle revolution. Thanks for joining us on this journey through one of the most significant transformations in automotive history. The future is arriving faster than most people realize, and honestly, it's both exciting and a little overwhelming when you think about the scope of change we're talking about.
Before we sign off, here's something to think about. If your car could learn and adapt to your needs, what would you want it to learn first? How would you want your relationship with your vehicle to evolve? These aren't hypothetical questions anymore. They're decisions consumers will be making in showrooms very soon.
This episode was produced by the team at Auto Agentic. Learn more at autoagentic.ai. We'd like to thank our producer, Barry Hillier, co-founder and CEO of Auto Agentic AI, for his insights and support in bringing these conversations to life.
And if you'd like to reach out with suggestions for topics, companies, or people shaping the future of mobility, email us at barry@autoagentic.ai. Barry's always looking for the next big story in automotive innovation.
Auto Agentic is pioneering AI-driven solutions that transform automotive retail. Founded in 2024, we deliver intelligent, adaptive platforms designed to help dealerships streamline operations, optimize sales performance, and elevate customer experience. With over 90 modular agents covering lead nurturing, inventory optimization, service scheduling, and more, we're helping dealerships thrive in this fast-evolving market. What sets us apart is our human-centered, consultative approach. We're LLM agnostic, deeply trained on automotive industry nuances, and we partner closely with OEMs and dealer groups to ensure AI implementation is practical, effective, and aligned with real-world goals. Because true agentic AI isn't just about automation. It's about strategic thinking, collaborative planning, and operational integration. We don't just deliver tech, we deliver trusted guidance for navigating exactly the kind of industry transformation we discussed today.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Auto Intelligence.